Okay, hello everyone. In this video tutorial, I will discuss about the internet, which is chapter 4 in your textbooks, Technology at Your Service, second edition. Uh, you can find the e-books or e-textbooks located on the same net online and go to the library on the top. Okay, there is an icon on the top called library, and then choose from all the available books. You will see the technology at your service toward the bottom. Okay, uh, what are we going to discuss today is about the history and the structure of internet, overview of internet services, connection, connecting to the internet, and web browsers. Let's go to the next slide here. The history of the internet. Okay, in 1969, basically the U.S. Department of Defense created an agency called ARPANET, which stands for Advanced Research Project Agency. That is in 1969. That was in 1969. Okay, so why are we creating this? Why we were creating this agency for the first place? Remember, in 1970s we have a Cold War. Okay, who was our enemy at that time is called Soviet Union. We did not want to get behind with the Soviet. Therefore, we created this agency. It's called ARPANET. Okay. Uh, so how the computer communicate over the network? Okay. Well, uh, actually, this topic should be at the later slide, but they already introduced you at the beginning. So let me go ahead explain it. Protocol is basically when computers communicate over the network, they must follow certain rules or protocols. That is to ensure that the transmission is sent properly and understood. Okay. The protocol of the internet is known as TCP/IP or Transmission Control Protocol and Internet Protocol. It's like in our educational system, some people speak different language. Okay, some people may speak Spanish, some people may speak Russia, some people may speak French. However, in the classroom we use English as a communication, so we all can understand each other. That is called the protocol. Okay, so protocol is a set of rules that we must follow. Okay? The IP address is basically each of the devices or computer that is on the internet. They need to have an IP address. Okay, that is uniquely identify that uh, nodes or that computers. Okay. We will discuss that topic in the later slides since we are going to focus on the history. So the first agency is called ARPANET. If you go to the next one, in 1981 in 1986, there was another agency because the ARPANET was running out of fund. So the other agency, the other foundation kicks in. Okay, the name of the foundation is called NSF or National Science Foundation. Okay, so National Foundation was created in 1981 and ultimately in 1986 they created a high-speed network that's called NSFnet that could transmit data 25 times than the speed of the CNET. Okay, so first is ARPANET and the second one is CSNet that was created by the National Science Foundation. Okay, how about backbone? Well, with the continued growth of the internet, uh, various companies try to upgrade their existing network and create their backbone. So backbone is referred to the connection that carry the most of the internet traffic. Think of a backbone like a freeway or highway. Okay, when we going when we are going to travel to another city, the main highway, for example, Highway 69 or Highway 10, that were the main road, like the main highway. Okay. People still can use local, but the backbone is the main pathway of the internet. Usually, these backbones are owned by big companies like AT&T and T and Verizon or Sprint. Okay, and then from those big company, they subcontract to a smaller one. All right. Okay. Who own the internet? Well, it's actually no one own it, okay? Because this is a decentralized system, decentralized and cooperative community with over 2 billion users worldwide. That means no single group, no single person or groups control the network. But it is up to the country's government to determine whether to regulate or censor the content. For example, in China, the Chinese government prohibited Facebooks and Google. Okay, so that's up to the country policy how they want to make it available for their citizens. Why is that? Maybe there's kind of like a political uh, discussion. So maybe I'll leave it to you later on, or you can search on the Google. Okay. All right. World Wide Web. These are some of the services that are available uh, in the internet. The first one is called World Wide Web. What is WW? Is basically a global system link, okay, or hypertext document. For example, www.southtexascollege.com or www.psjaisd.edu. Okay, so this is called a global system of link or hypertext document. Okay. So how do they create a website? They use a language called HTML. Okay. So what is HTML? HTML is a hypertext markup language. Okay. The newer language called CSS or JavaScript. That is a fundamental language of creating a website. So if you are interested to create a web page, you may need to learn this language. It's called HTML. Okay. Uh, how about web server? What is web server? Web server is a website that are typically located. Okay, when you create a website, they need to be hosted. So where do they host it? They host it in the web server. For example, www.southtexascollege.edu. That's called the www, but we host our website here in Building M, second floor at the Pecan campus. So that is where we host our URL address. Okay. The second services, okay, well, before I go to the second services, this is part of the previous discussion. What is URL? URL stands for Uniform Resource Locator. Basically, it allows people to locate your information on the internet. As you can see that HTTP is called a protocol, and then the domain is, this one is called the domain. News.example.com, that's called the domain. Domain and subdomain. Okay? And you have a folder, US and /politics. And this is the actual file where it is located. Okay, this is still part of the WW. The second services or the second resources, the second services of the internet is email. I think many of you knows what is email. Okay, email basically is a system for exchanging messages through computer network. Okay, when somebody send you email, make sure you also check on your spam folder or in the junk mail folder, because some people forget to put the title of the email, and sometimes Yahoo or Gmail, they send those email directly to the spam folder or a junk email folder. That's the second type of services. Okay. How about CC and BCC? Make sure you know the difference between CC and BCC. CC is a carbon copy, so if I want to make a duplicate of my email to other people, then I put CC. But if I don't want the recipient knows that I send it to other person also, then I have to use BCC. So BCC stands for blind carbon copy. Okay. All right. The next one is called real-time communication or voice over IP. That is instant messaging or voice over IP. Instant messaging is like having a text-based conversation with one or more individual, like Yahoo Messenger or Facebook Messenger. Voice over IP translates analog phone signal to digital data and uses the internet to transport the data. Example of voice over IP is FaceTime. Okay? FaceTime or Skype. I don't know if some of you knows what Skype. So you can Google it up and type Skype. SKYPE. That's called Skype, voice over IP. Okay. The next services that I want to discuss is called broadcast or streaming media. Webcasting, basically you broadcast various types of media like radio, TV. Okay. Podcast also similar to broadcast. Okay. Many of these are pre-recorded or can be downloaded from a variety of sources. So podcasting, if you're using iPhone or iPad, you can download some of the podcasts from other sources or other people's. Webcasting is like YouTube. Okay, you can see that. You can find some of the channel on YouTube, for example. Okay, you can see all the webcasts that people put it there. Like my lecture today on chapter 4, I webcast this. I'm gonna put this. I'm making a recording, and later on I will put this on the web. Okay. The next services is called file sharing. It's called P2P. What is P2P? Well, P2P is a file transfer protocol. That is basically if you want to share file amongst your friends. Okay. Let me show you a website called BitTorrent. This is some of the protocol that people use called BitTorrent. Okay. You download this program and it allows you to sharing file. Okay. In the past, there was a program called Napster where people download music. However, the government shut it down long time ago because many people did an illegal copy or file sharing of music. So the music industry finally, okay, that's it. We're gonna shut it down. Okay. They have to go through the court system to do that. All right, file sharing. What's the next one? Online class, learning management system, and massively multiplayer online role gaming. Okay, this is also another services that the internet provide nowadays because the advance of technology. You can take class online, like you are right now. Instead of going to face-to-face class, many of you, all of you, are taking class online. Some of you may like to play games online, right? I have a friend or a relative that always play games on the internet, okay? Like Warcraft and Starcraft. All right, massive open online course. What is this? Basically, this is some of the online course that offered by various university. Okay, like let me show you. Let me give you some example. Uh, what is this? MOOC, right? Course. MOOC course. Let me see what's the most popular one here. EduCourse, yeah. Coursera. Coursera, this is quite popular. So you can learn. Eh? You can learn about any subject. For example, chemistry, mathematics, okay? I'm not sure you have to pay or not. So whenever you have time, maybe you can do some research here. Okay. Let me try a little bit here. For example, computer science, view computers course. They also offer online degree. Do you notice that? So mobile and web programming, for example. So big universities now are team up with some of this company to offer their course online. You see that? Arizona State, University of Illinois, University of London, even John Hopkins. I don't know if you heard what is John Hopkins University. This is one of uh, the top school for medical fields. Okay. All right. Uh, let's see, what's the next one here? Connecting to the internet, you may need to have a service with a ISP or internet service provider. In the old days, they use dial-up, but now many of us use broadband. What is broadband? Broadband is a high-speed internet. Okay, uh, I will discuss this in the next recording. Okay, because I only limit for 15 minutes. So let me stop up to here first. Slide number 15 here, right? Okay, let me stop this.